Good afternoon, Warriors fans. My name is Chase Johnston. This is going to be a little bit of a fast-tracked, impromptu episode of Warriors Wednesday. It is episode number 54. This will air on Saturday, May the 29th. Why are we speeding this up and not waiting until next Wednesday? Because we are interviewing a Warriors alumni, a BCHL official, and a dear friend in the hockey world, and that is Mr. Braiden Epp. Braiden, you're in your home in Nanaimo, BC. You got some pretty rough news last Tuesday. You were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, also known to a lot of people as MS. And this weekend happens to be Sunday, May the 30th, is the walk for MS. And that's the reason why we're airing this Warriors Wednesday on a Saturday. First off, thanks so much for just making time out of your day to jump on this call. A lot happened in the past 4 days here. Last Tuesday, you were diagnosed with MS. First off, and I understand we'll try and keep this light and also a little serious, which is a little out of the ordinary for myself, so bear with me here. But for a guy, I've been part of MS walks before, just working in the radio industry, working at community events. I don't really know a lot about, just talking to somebody who has it. What does it feel like for you over the last, you're living in Nanaimo, working for the city of Nanaimo, you're a BCHL official. You just got off, officiating 20 games in the Island Pod, more than 20 games at the Island Pod out in Port Alberni, driving back and forth. And you've been having these mysterious health problems since really Christmas. Just take me through, what did it feel like before you're even diagnosed?
So right around after Christmas time, I kind of got the fatigue, the lack of energy, that kind of thing really hit me pretty hard. And I found it hard some days to get off the couch and be motivated to go out and do stuff. And then I noticed some other things like my hands shaking and not much like wrist grip strength and that kind of stuff. And just a lot of minor things like that, kind of foggy memory and miss saying words and just trying to not be able to find the word I'm looking for sometimes. And then those kind of came and gone, and I was feeling good, feeling bad. And then about a month ago, I woke up with some back pain that I had no idea where it came from. I thought maybe I slept funny or something. So that was right when I finished my last exam. So I thought, who knows what's going on with me right now. So I was still reffing at the time, and I just kept pushing through the back pain that has hit me, and it kept getting worse and worse. And I tried stretching and all that, but it just kept getting worse. And when I went out to ref a game after I had the back pain, I stepped on the ice, and my feet were going left when I wanted to go right, and I couldn't control my feet to how I wanted them to go. And I found it so hard to maneuver around the ice, but I got through that first game, just pure determination to finish the game and not leave my team hanging. So I finished that game off, and I went back in the room, and I was kind of shaking my head, just like, what is going on? Thinking maybe I pinched a nerve in my back, and I'm just not getting the right senses down to my feet and all that. So my brain was really wandering. So then I had about 10 days off until my next game to officiate. And I really had no other symptoms. I could walk fine and all that. So I thought, well, this is something minor. I can work my way through. And I went out to do that last game. And when I stepped on the ice and fell down and I had a hard time getting back up, I was really worried. Some would say I looked like Bambi trying to walk on ice, and my feet they weren't my feet that's how I felt. They weren't working for me. And I told the guys, I can't be on the ice right now. This isn't safe for me or the players. And I felt so weak that I just had to get off the ice, and I had to go get help. So I left that game, and I left the 3 men in that game, which I felt bad for, but I think it was the right move for my safety and all that. So when I got off the ice, I immediately called my mom and told her I was worried, and because this wasn't like me. I can't skate. I could think what I had to do with my feet, but then I looked down and it was doing something completely different. And it was so bizarre. I can't explain how lost I was in that game and in life at the time. So after that, we drove back to Nanaimo, and I went to try to go to a walk-in clinic, and I got turned away from them because of all the COVID patients that were going through there. And then I was questioning, is this even important enough to go to the hospital and all that? So I was really in a tough position with myself. So I let it go a couple more days. So I was starting work with the city of Nanaimo on the roads crew, the public works, and I worked the week after that. I worked through the whole week, and I started to get the really big fatigue waves and could barely even lift up a weed eater and all that kind of stuff. And 5 minutes of work, and I'd be sitting down for half an hour just trying to catch my wind and my muscle strength back. And I couldn't get through the work days. It was just, I was so weak and all that. And then Friday comes along, and I was driving the work truck, and my legs and arms, they all fell asleep at the wheel and started to tingle on me. And it was like an icy tingle through my arms and legs. And that's right there, I knew I had to go to the hospital. So after work, I went straight to the ER, and they rushed me straight through all the patients. And I had a great staff of doctors surrounded me and trying to figure out what was going on, because it was not okay with what was going on with me. I'm 24 years old. I'm active and healthy, and then for this to all happen to me, it wasn't proper. So they had the neurologist on call and came down and looked at me and all this, and I was doing all these coordination tests, and I was failing them all, and that's not like me. So they basically said, we're gonna get you in for an urgent MRI to see what is going on. So after I was in the ER on Friday, I had a MRI on the Monday, which was very quick to get an MRI here. And I got that MRI done on Monday, and I got a call saying they have found some spots on my cervical spine, on my neck, and they want to do another MRI on my cervical spine and my brain with contrast. So then I had to wait 3 days to hear. They wouldn't tell me what they found or what it was. So I was basically in the dark with what was going on and all that. So those next 3 days were probably the hardest days for me, because I was so weak and I couldn't work, and I had no motivation. I couldn't get off the couch or anything. There was one point where I couldn't even open a paper straw for my iced coffee. And I was just so weak and embarrassed. But then when I finally got the last MRI with the contrast, I got a call from the MS clinic and the neurologist to come in and see them. So that's when I called my parents to come down to Nanaimo, because this is serious. So they packed up their stuff and came right down, and they were there with me for the meeting. And I was only allowed one person in the meeting, so I brought my mom. I'm my mama's boy. So we're in the neurologist in the MS clinic with the neurologist, and we're doing all these tests that I did in the ER, and they were worse than what they were before. So she finally sat us down and talked us over with what's going on, and finally broke the news that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. And I think I was ready for that moment, because I have been looking up on the internet and with all my symptoms, and I was trusting my body and all that. So I was ready for it, but my parents, they were not ready for it. It was very hard on my parents and friends and family, because they don't want to see me like that, and that's not who I am. So that was definitely a tough day for me and my family. But once I got the news about the MS, I kind of flipped the switch. I said, well, what can I do now? So my main goal now is to help raise awareness for this disease, and there is no cure. So that's the next step for me, is to keep getting donations and keep spreading the awareness with everyone. Social media is so powerful these days, and you can touch so many people. So that is my goal, is to raise as much money as I can, and awareness.
So just to jump in here, and thank you so much for sharing that story and educating not only myself, but all of Warriors Nation on your journey and what you had to go through there. I mean, I understand that last game must have been extremely difficult for you to officiate. But, moving forward, you find out the news, you're with your family and you're starting to tell some of your closest friends. And there's a couple of your closest friends that immediately are jumping in and they want to support. And I'm going to name drop a couple right now. Dylan Ellison's one of them. And he had this wonderful Facebook post that not only educated his friends, it educated me on, what MS really is, and what you can do to sort of get involved. And I'll make sure that, of course, all of you watching this video have access to Braiden's Team MS channel, where you can help to donate. Of course, there is a big walk on Sunday. That is tomorrow after this video airs. And why don't we just talk about, your diagnosis was last Tuesday. It was just a couple days ago since we recorded this video, and you guys have already raised $15,000, or at least your team has raised $15,000. Talk to me about the support from all of your friends across the hockey community.
It's been absolutely insane. The first couple of days after I made my initial post, my phone was ringing off the charts from ex-teammates, ex-people from school, best friends, friends I haven't talked to for a while, friends' moms, random people from all over Canada reaching out to me that they found my page. And it's just been so incredibly touching for me to see all these people care and support me in my journey. And I'm lost for words on how much we have done in such a little time for this MS walk.
And I think that it's wonderful. It's not just your friends in your hometown in Prince George, your friends on the island, but even just talking to people here in the Central Okanagan that know you well. I was told about your diagnosis through athletic therapist Mike Bois, who happened to be the only member of the Warriors organization that's still around today that was part of that 2016-17 team that you played on. Mike obviously immediately letting me know, like, you got to talk to Braiden. And so just talk to me about your connection with the Warriors and the one and only Mike Bois.
Yeah, so when I got traded to West Kelowna in my 20-year-old year, I was kind of worried what it's going to be like. But when I got into the room, Boise was there to welcome me in and made sure I had everything I needed. And every single day he was there for every single player, just ready to help out, and just an unbelievable human being. And I'm just so happy that he was there to be with me for my last year of hockey. He made it so much more enjoyable for me. So I can't thank Boise enough.
And let's chat about that 2016-17 team while I have you here, Braiden. It was a bit of a wild year. You spent 3.5 years or more actually with the Prince George Spruce Kings, your hometown BCHL team. You actually tried out for the Warriors back in the day. You didn't make the team. That sounds similar to Kevin Tilsley's path to the BCHL. He also got cut from the West Kelowna Warriors as a 16-year-old. He joined the Spruce Kings as a youngster. But let's talk about just that season, because you spent pretty much, I would say, 90% of that 2016-17 year with the Warriors. It was that hangover year after the national championships. What was that like? Because it was a complete change of guard and a change of the core. They only had about 5 returning players from that RBC Cup winning team.
Yeah, that was a very interesting year. I would say it was more of a learning year for those younger players, where us older guys can kind of mentor those guys. Like, I was on a line with Chase Dubois and Parham Dollywell for most of the year, and those guys were, I think, 16 years old at the time, and
Yeah,
just trying to help them get through the struggles of, it is tough coming into a league like that, right? So I think having me along with them really helped them, and they really helped me to stay young and enjoy the game, because my time was coming to an end. So I loved that team so much, and we had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of learning going on. So
And why don't we give a shout out to former captain and Warriors great Kevin Tilsley. Just another great example of from one great human being, Braiden, to another great human being. Both you guys spent time with the Prince George Spruce Kings. Now, he came in as a 16-year-old when I believe you were 17 or 18. He had a little bit of a story to share about Braiden Epp, and I'm going to share that right now with you, Braiden. This is from Kevin Tilsley. He always knew how to make the rookies feel at home and feel a part of the team. I remember the first time I met him, I just signed with the Prince George Spruce Kings. I was so nervous and excited. I was being my typical serious self, and I think he could tell. When I shook his hand, he kind of dodged it. So I ended up shaking his forearm instead. It's the little stuff like that, like I feel he's so good at. He knows when to be serious, but he also knows when to take things lightly and ease any tension in the room. That is a leader in the BCHL, and that's exactly the human being that Kevin Tilsley turned into when he became the captain of the West Kelowna Warriors. Lo and behold, that's the effect he had, you had on his life, and I'm sure a lot of younger players when you were with the Warriors. Parm Dhaliwal, Chase Dubois, great examples as well moving forward. And I just wanted to share that story for Warriors fans that maybe didn't get to watch you in the 2016-17 season, but we better believe that the community in Northern BC do, the officiating community knows, and everything. Why don't we finish things off here, Braiden, with, how can people get involved? Tomorrow is the walk to Cure MS. There is no cure. We want to make sure that we're raising money to find a cure with obviously COVID restrictions still in place in the province of British Columbia. There is usually every community, whether it's Penticton, Kelowna, Prince George, Nanaimo, will have their own parks where they have walks and it's an event. Can't do that still. So it's a virtual event. How can people get involved, Braiden?
I would say the best way is to go check out Dylan Ellison's Facebook page. We'll link it in here. He's got all the details on how to do it and all that. I haven't had much time to get involved with this kind of stuff. I've been dealing with some family stuff right now and a lot of planning to figure out. So I would say check out Dylan Ellison's Facebook page. He's got it all laid out in steps and how to join the team and how to donate and how to walk and how to track your walk. So that's what I would do.
Okay. You also have your own Instagram page that you made, which kind of follows your journey battling MS. What is that channel?
So that's on Instagram. That is Braiden_MS Journey.
So Braiden_MS Journey. I think one of them, at least today, you posted a photo of a giant tub of yogurt and a whole pile of pills. I didn't realize that people with MS have to be taking that many pills just to get through their day. Talk to me, take me through that.
So this is just the initial step. So right now my body was so weak that they got me on this prednisone that it's a strong steroid that will help fight the inflammation in my spine and all that, get me back to strength. So right now I am taking 25 pills of the 50 milligrams, where the average person will take one pill of the 50 milligrams. So this is a 5-day cycle for me, where I'm just trying to boost my strength back up to where I should be, because I'm so far below my strength and stuff right now. So this is just gonna jumpstart me and hopefully help fight off those future inflammations and attacks in my body. So after this 5-day cycle, I'll get put onto a regular medication, and we're going to tinker around and find what works for me and help keep this stuff at bay, to say, and hopefully live a active lifestyle.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on this call here, Braiden. We'll make sure that we have links to fundraising for your team, how people can take part in the virtual walk and continue to raise money to find a cure for multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. Thank you so much for jumping on this call.
Thank you. Thank you very much.